these two inequalities, you can see that the first one, well, both of them are just linear inequalities, and they're in the slope-intercept form. So the first one has a y-intercept of -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right down there. And then the slope is -2, which means I go down 2 and over 1, and I can get those points there. Now, you'll notice that this is greater than, but not equal to. So what I have to do is draw a dashed line through those points. Okay. And then what I do is I look at this and say, okay, y has got to be greater than that line. So my technique is I look at the y-intercept and I want to find values that are greater than that. Well, they're greater than that, excuse me, above the line. So that's what I'm going to do is just shade. Now I'm just cross-hatching this one, because I don't want to make a mess of my paper, but you get the idea that it's going to be above the line. Okay, the next one I want to graph. It says y is less than or equal to x plus 3. The y-intercept is 3, so I go up 1, 2, 3. And the slope is 1, so I go down 1 and over 1. Not down 1, sorry, I go up 1 over 1. There we go, much better. This one is a solid line, so I'm going to connect them with a solid line. There we go. Nice straight line. And y is less than this. So again, what I do is I go to my cross-hatching here, and I realize that y is less than that, so it's going to be below the line. So I can see that it's going to be within that shaded region right there. So where the blue and the red cross, that's my solution, and that's what I expect you to do. Now you can do this shading in a few different ways. One, you could use a pen and pencil. If you have colored pencils, that works fabulously. The thing that I'm looking for here mostly is that you do the dashed or solid. That's important that you get those guys in there, and that you shade the appropriate regions. That's what I need you to do. So I've shortened the assignment. This is all that you have to do. There are other things that we want to do, but we can pick those out on Wednesday. Let's try another problem. If I graph this one, I can see that y is less than or equal to 3. Well, that's a constant linear function, which means I go up 1, 2, 3. And a constant linear function means that it's going to be a line, like so. Y is less than that line, so again, I want to shade below that line down here. Okay, the next one that I read, y is going to be greater than or equal to, or just greater than that absolute value. Well, we remember that that 4 that's on the inside is going to move it 4 to the left. So that's what I do. I move 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where my vertex is going to be. Since this is not equal to, this is going to be a dashed line. So I'd see something kind of like this and like this. You'll notice that I haven't put any points here. Again, I'm most interested that you get the shape right and that you get the solid and dashed right. This one says that it's got to be greater than or just greater than, which means that it would be above the vertex. So it's going to be up in this area where I see those two crossed, something like this. Okay, one more. We'll just make this one up. If I have something like I don't want that. If I have, say, 2x minus 3y is less than or equal to 6. Okay, if I go to graph that one, we've done these guys before. The x-intercept, I just cover up the 3y, and the x-intercept is 3. The y-intercept is -2. Since this is less than or equal to, I would put a solid line through there, through the points. Now, this one's kind of hard to tell if I shade above or below, so what I do is I use a test point. Usually I use something really easy, like 0, 0. So if I put 0 in for x and 0 in for y, then I'm testing to see that 0 is less than or equal to 6. If that's true, which it is, then I shade the area where the point 0, 0 is. So 0, 0 is above that line. So according to this test, I would shade the stuff that's just above that. So I'd crosshatch the stuff above that line. And you could do that with anything else that looks like that. Okay, next thing is if you have your Inspire, if you download that, and there's a link there in the announcements, you can do that. If I go to this pad right here, press tab, you'll see that I have a function, but if I backspace here, then I can get something like y is less than or equal to some number. So I'm going to just make up something here as 3x minus 1, and it will shade it for me like so. Okay, then I'll press tab and go back up here. Now this one I want to do say 2x minus 3y, but I want this one to be greater than or equal to. So in order to get that, you press the greater than key, okay, and then press equal to. So it'll look like this. This is going to be equal to 6, and then press enter, and you can see where the cross-hatching is. Okay, where they both intersect would be where the red and blue intersect, which would be in this area right here. If you have the Inspire calculator, you can go ahead and check those. If you want, like I say, there's a link that's there in announcements. If you can put this on your computer, get that free version. If not, then you can just go ahead and work it out as I've shown you before.